Okay, so majority wanted me to talk about games that never fucking end. And there's a lot of games that never fucking end, so this is a very hard question to answer when it comes to picking a single game for the topic. But the picks that I'm going to go for, well, I'm not going to actually pick just one, I'm going to pick multiple, because there's tons of them. Where do I even begin here? I mean, we've got Halo Combat Evolved, that game sucked though, so yeah, but that game took fucking ages and never ended. The levels are just copy-paste mazes where you go through these grey areas full of enemies, and then you go to another grey area full of enemies, and it looks exactly the same as the previous grey area which was full of enemies. And then you have Nier Automata, which at first it wasn't too bad because you were exploring a world, and yeah, when you were playing as 2B it wasn't terrible. Then you actually finished the A ending, but oh no, the game's not over. You have to keep playing because now you have to play as 9S. And then the game starts to get boring because you want to just move on because what you're doing is boring. The combat starts to get monotonous at this point. You're basically replaying through the entire story again, and you're not exploring because you've basically seen everywhere. And then you have to play as A2, and it's basically just still boring because you've played as 2B and it's the same thing, but it's slightly different, but it's still boring because you've unlocked everywhere, and it's just like there's no exploration anymore, and that's the best part of the game because the combat in the game is bland. So you got those two games. Another game that overstays its welcome would probably be Legend of Dragoon, because that game took fucking centuries for me to beat. Like, seriously, I already mentioned that game anyways, so I'm not going to talk too much on it, but yeah, that game took fucking ages. And I wouldn't recommend anyone who's played a lot of RPGs to dive into it because it's a long one and it's pretty generic. I would only recommend someone new to gaming play that game because you've seen it all before, people, but it is a long and epic journey if you haven't seen it all. So yeah, I mean, there's plenty of games that I could really mention here. There's no shortage of them. Like, a lot of them I hate, and that's the point. Like, if a game overstays its welcome, I just start to dislike it. It's like, for example, Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky started to overstay its welcome as well. East Origin started to overstay its welcome, you know, and these are both Falcom games. So yeah, like East Origin, you have to play through the game 3 times. It seems to be a trend here when game developers expect you to play through the game multiple times just to like finish it, you know what I mean? And yeah, Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky overstayed its welcome from the start. I didn't even like it to begin with, but it was a slog, you know, expecting it to end up being good, only to find out that it never was. That's kind of what that one was. Shadow Warrior was another one that just took fucking ages, you know, like Shadow Warrior 2 I quit as well, but it kind of says it all really when you have levels that are like 2 hours long and you're just like, can you please stop? You know, this is terrible pacing, so stop please. And I could say Tales of Vesperia as well. Like, Tales of Vesperia is pretty shit later on in the game. Like, after the first like chapter of the game, the whole game just comes down, like slows down to a crawl, and you're just like, I just want to end this game, it's terrible, you know. And yeah, the story just falls apart and I just lost interest. And yeah, so I'd say that Tales of Vesperia as well, definitely, that's another game. So yeah, I think that's about it really that I'm going to mention for now. So yeah, there you go, see you guys.